Good afternoon, everybody. It is Yannis Pappas from the Yannis Pappas Hour. We are a very niche podcast, and I appreciate each and every one of you. We're still cooking over at patreon.com/Yannis Pappas Hour for your weekly bonus episodes. If you want a little more, they're a little more timeless and laid back and local. So that's good. I am your favorite comedian who is one phone call away from talking to people who have made it to the top of the business. That is my credit. The phone call I just had. That's my credit. I want to be brought up on stage as that. And that's the way you like me, and that's kind of the way I like myself. Just kind of laid back under the radar. Ain't a good time to be on the radar. But my papers are good, and my mom is legal. She was legal. She was totally legal, and that's how it goes. And also, she was... she's white, right? Greeks are white, I guess. So for Steve Bannon, I'd be safe. But for Elon Musk, he wouldn't even bat his eye because him and Trump, because they want everyone who's very capable, right? Because it's a tech takeover. So, of course, Elon Musk isn't going to say, I want only whites, because then half of Silicon Valley and half of his company would be gone because it's all Indians and Chinese doing the work, at least half, at least a quarter, at least 30%. The ones that matter are, a lot of them are South Asian, Indian, and a lot of them are Asian. So, and they haven't been here that long. So, of course, Musk and Trump were like, we're going for excellence. But Steve Bannon goes, we were going for white. We wanted white. So he hates Elon Musk. So the feud amongst Trump's inner circle continues. There's two wings. One that wants whites and one that does my heart is open to you this way, but very probably could have been an autistic tick. We don't know, because he wants everyone who's just excellent. But it could just be self-serving. Or he could just mean Asians and South Asians who are good at coding until the robots come, and then they're going to want everything out. And Steve Bannon, it's like, okay, they're negotiating. They're going, okay, we'll take the robots, but the robots have to be white. What are we going to do when the robots come? Will there be racism against the robots, or will Steve Bannon be okay with them if they're white robots? Can you be racist against a black robot? Or, or a brown robot? Or an Asian robot? Are they going to do diverse robots, or are they just going to be all white robots? Because they're going to make humanoid robots. Meta just invested a whole bunch of money into the future of humanoid robots. Human robots will be a thing. Tesla has them already. They're figuring them out. They're going to be mass produced. We're going to be living in iRobot very soon. And one of them will slap Will Smith for what he did to Chris Rock. That'll be the first thing. As a joke, Chris Rock will call Elon and go, can you send one of those things to Chris Rock to smack him for me? And that's what's going to happen. This robot is black and white, like a black and white cookie. Very nice, represents America. What if some of them are reddish to represent Native Americans? No, can't do that?
Can't do that.
But I mean, we want diversity in our robots. And I just want to ask Steve Bannon, is it okay if the robots are white? That's all. So Steve Bannon and Elon Musk don't like each other, right? But also, Trump keeps saying he's not a DOGE employee. He can't do whatever he wants. So I don't know if he's some sort of special advisor, or he's just a renegade. Is he a renegade? What do they call those? Renegade justice? What are those guys who just do their own justice?
Vigilante.
He's a vigilante. He's a slashing vigilante. But according to DOGE, I don't know whether you want to believe it or not, I do say that there will be trouble with this down the line. But according to DOGE right now, they have saved America $55 billion so far in what they've slashed. Now, what they've slashed, a lot of people don't agree with. So a lot of people wouldn't say that they saved them. But I will say, I'll ask you point blank, $600 million has been cut from the Department of Education for divisive ideologies, anti-racism, gender shit, right? So, do you want that? Answer the question in your head quietly if you live in Cobble Hill or Brooklyn Heights, right? Just answer the question quietly, because stop acting like you don't have a $4 million brownstone, okay? Stop acting like you care about the poor just because you talk about caring about the poor, because you push the poor out of fucking Court Street and below. Okay? Smith Street used to be Puerto Rican social clubs. Now it's not because of you. So I know what comes out of your mouth is you care about the poor, but you bought your brownstone for $4 million with help from your parents who have a lot of stocks, who have generations of stocks from, their investments from Wisconsin or whatever. Daddy knows how to invest. He took his car milling business and he put that money into fucking stocks, and he was able to give you a nice down payment for your $4 million brownstone. So I'm asking you to just answer the question quietly in your head. Are you okay with that cut? Did the Department of Education need to allocate $600 million of taxpayer money to anti-racism to teach the kids? Maybe you believe they did. That's your business. But answer it quietly. And maybe you'll get a different answer. This is the Yannis Pappas Hour, where truth doesn't see the light.
Yannis Pappas. Yeah. When you all tucked up in the day been long, and the news online going on and on, what's right and wrong, and it's something up. Now here comes a great kid you know you can trust. From the true who's who to the news and cameras, to the fake politics and the propaganda. Yeah, this kid's screwed in, got a lot to say. Oh shit. Be a long day. It's a long day.
So it's all about DOGE and not Dogecoin. There is a Dogecoin, but this has nothing to do with that. It's all about the Department of Government Efficiency and its leader, Wilhelm Elon Musk, who's really rounding up. He's out there with his 3 finger sniffing teenagers, rounding up fraudulent money or money that he deems he has a mandate from the American people to eliminate. Hard to argue about the mandate. He did campaign on this. I know people are upset, but it's hard to argue about the mandate if you believe in democracy, because democracy did vote for Donald Trump in sort of a declarative way. Of course, it's always Electoral College, but he flipped a lot of swing states, and it wasn't even close. So this was on his campaign agenda, and this is what they're doing. They're going through everything, and they're saying America doesn't want these progressive DEI policies in education. Then he's going to the DOD, and that's when he could end up becoming deadhead. Because then you're messing with military contract money, and those guys are armed, and that's where ironies abound. Where you're going, everyone should have a gun, and they go, you think we should have this level of guns and this level of weapons? How about nano robots who go into your smoothie if you're trying to cut our contracts that are going to the Uganda, and we're getting taxpayer money to pay for it? How about that? Ooh, now you're hurting my company. They're playing a dangerous game. I think liberals have to take a moment to understand that this isn't just liberals who are going to be upset with Trumpy. I mean, there's a lot of people who receive that steel on the other end from imports from Ukraine who, when this across-the-board steel tariff goes into effect, are going to go have a boo-boo. They're not going to be happy. And people are, like I've said, people are all for ideology until it affects their pocket. Now, according to Elon, there's a bunch of 150-year-olds who will not be upset that they're losing their Social Security because they're not alive. I think there's about 100,000 centenarians in America. None of them are 150. So I don't know. The detractors of Elon are saying that this is some archaic, complex code. This could have something to do with multiple birth dates from... it's a whole bunch of fucking gobbledygook rationalizations. I perused it and I went, if it's saying it's 150-year-old collected Social Security currently, I mean, what's the issue here? Either something's very wrong with the tax code that needs to be reformed anyway, because it's an error, or It's fraud. It's fraud. So who knows? Musk's bombshell has long been known by the Social Security Administration watchdog, which released an audit in July 2023 showing that 18.5, God damn it, that's a lot. 18.9 million people listed as 100 years or older, but not dead, were in the database. Only 86,000 people living in the U.S. at the time were actually centenarians, according to the Census Bureau. Yeah, the dog agrees. So, I mean, that's an issue that was there before Elon Musk. The same Inspector General Office found in March 2015 an audit that 6.5 million with Social Security numbers, but no death information, were over 112 years old, despite just 35 people having reached that ripe old age. So that's either negligence or fraud. You know, somebody who works in the administration going, hey, Papa lived to 100 and he's still alive. And they're going to look into it. That's a lot. 18.9 million is a lot. You know, if it was 44,000, you go like, all right, splitting hairs, just fix it. No big deal. But 18.9 million, that's a lot. Around 44,000 were actually receiving benefits, with 13 of those older than 112. That's not that huge, but it still needs to be fixed. So, I mean, look, when you have Social Security for millions and millions of people, there's probably going to be some problems. So, the 2015 audit showed about 3.5 billion in earnings reported by employees or self-employed individuals who were not on the Social Security member holder. So they're going in there. They're going in, they're cracking it open, and they're cleaning it out. This sounds like one of those things that the watchdog agency had been coming up with, but nobody was really doing anything about. And now this administration is in action trying to do something about it. Not all the things that they're going to do you're going to be against, even if you hate both of them. Some of them are going to be good. That's just how the world works. You know? Now, him saying that he can't be breaking the law if he's saving America, that's a provocative statement. That's a provocative statement. You know? And right now we're in the troll era. So it is what it is. Even the halftime show at the Super Bowl was a big troll of Drake, right? There's no actual evidence that he's a pedophile. Is there? I've asked a lot of people who follow the beef. I don't follow the beef because I'm a grown-up Caucasian now.
You're a little old for this.
Yeah, I'm a little old for it. So I don't know, but they were like, nah, there's this thing. He was texting with the chick from Stranger Things when she was a teenager, or, you know, went to dinner with her or something. But there's no hard evidence. I mean, you're being called a pedophile with a big platform. I guess you can just do that. I guess freedom of speech just goes. I mean, I guess you can sue, and that's what Drake did. Is he still suing?
I think he's suing, yeah. He's suing the management.
Can you claim artistic license when you call someone a pedophile?
Yeah, it's rap beef, dude. You can say whatever you want.
I mean, is that okay? I don't know. I mean, Tom Hanks, they say the kid eats fucking children. There's no evidence that Tom Hanks is a pedophile. People constantly tweet because they're upset about his MAGA hat on SNL. So I looked into that as deep as I could. I spent a lot of time, and there's no evidence. There's no evidence
that he eats babies.
That he touches children.
Oh.
Yeah, there's just zero evidence. It's some conspiracy theory that was made up because some fucking actor who was like schizo threw himself off a bridge, and he died. He ended up falling on Route 66 in Los Angeles, and fucking Tom Hanks, like months before, tweeted a glove on Route 66, but he was in another state.
He's guilty. That's guilty.
I mean, and from there they go. They're inferring, and they're going, that guy had this guy killed because that guy said Tom Hanks and a bunch of other elites were pedophiles. And that's just enough evidence for everyone to make it true. I mean, that's the era we live in. You know, if like someone who's bitter enough for just fucking says something about you, you just have to deal with it. Nobody goes, hey, this is a lie. This is based on nothing. You just have to fucking deal with it. I mean, if Drake is not a pedophile, you can't just call the guy a pedophile, can you? I don't know. There's no evidence, right? There's been other people who've been accused of it. Whether it's legal, not legal, it's been accused that they've definitely been on the line. There's evidence. There's actual relationships with 17-year-olds, 18-year-olds, 16-year-olds. There's people who know people who got messaged by that person when they were 16, 15. I mean, is there anyone out there, and then there was one woman saying some account tweeted that she was trafficked by Tom Hanks. One, right? On the internet. So it's got to be true. And this goes with Jay-Z. So Jay-Z, this is why I brought it up, because this news is now. Jay-Z, his suit has been dropped, but the lie has traveled 1 million times around the world as he was glumped in with the Sean Combs rape shit. Now, does this mean something could come out about Jay-Z? It still could, and make what I'm saying. But at this moment that I'm recording this, there's no evidence that Jay-Z is a pedophile. The case has been dropped. So I don't know. The problem is sometimes these cases are fucking dropped when they're true, like Harvey Weinstein, right? So that's the fucking real problem. And that's why Tom Hanks has to be suffer and be called a pedophile. And, I don't know. Was he on Epstein's plane? I don't know. I know Billy Clinton was. Was Tom Hanks on Epstein's plane? I don't know. I know RFK hung out with the kid a lot. So that's evidence. Does that mean RFK doodled kids? Probably not. I don't know. Probably not. Oh, so here's a great headline. Tom Hanks and Obama among the names on fake Epstein's list. So that's just the internet, dog. That's just the internet. So I just don't know, I love freedom of speech, but, like the ancient Greeks said, there's no rules without exceptions. Can you just call someone a pedophile? Can you just slander someone? Can you make jokes or music about things that just are not true? Right? If someone accuses you of fraud or pedophilia or a crime or, and it's not true, can you do it? Right now you can. Elements of slander. False statement. The statement must be false. True statements, no matter how damaging, are not slanderous. Right. So if it's false, if it's not true. Slander involves spoken words or gestures as opposed to libel, which involves written, I knew that. Harm to reputation. The statement must damage the reputation of the person or entity being spoken about. You would think being performed at the Super Bowl and him saying he likes him young is enough. Now, the defense is the slander. If the statement is true, so that's the thing. Is it true? Does Drake like underage girls? Opinion, pure opinions. No, I mean, you either like young underage girls or you did. You either did something with an underage girl or you didn't. According to Kendrick, he did in the song. I hear you like him young. Oh, is he going to defend going, I hear you like him young? Right, maybe it's just the word going, maybe it's that going, instead of if he said, Drake does like them young, as I hear, then it's like, I hear, I don't know. Maybe that's the way you get around it. I don't know. But Jay-Z, I mean, we're talking about this because of Jay-Z. So the problem, the reason why I'm saying this is because the drama over Jay-Z being involved, because it was reported. I mean, this is why nobody trusts the fucking media. So the woman who accused Jay-Z of raping her in 2000 when she was 13 has dismissed her civil lawsuit against the hip-hop mogul. Now, is this because of pressure? Maybe. I don't know. I'm keeping it open. Let's see. Filing in a federal court. She obviously wasn't scared to file it. Referred to a Janezo, voluntarily dismissed the case with prejudice, meaning she cannot bring it again. Is there any information why she dismissed it? Was there contrary evidence? I'd like to know. I'd really like to know if you can find it. The lawsuit was the only one to name Jay-Z. So, I mean, there's just one. Today's Victor Carter said in a statement posted online by his entertainment company, Rock Nation. The frivolous, fictitious, and appalling allegations have been dismissed. This civil suit was without merit and never going anywhere. In a joint statement, okay, we'll continue. All right, so the rest is Combs. So, yeah, it was accused that she accused him of raping her at a 2000 MTV Music Video Awards. So maybe there was, if you drop it, there's just not, because once you bring it, if there's significant evidence, can you still drop it? I guess you can. So maybe, I don't know. But it's one accusation. The girl dismissed it. Chances are she just threw it in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Combs has got like 50.
Combs got a lot.
A lot of allegations.
Yeah. And a lot of people who work for him saying, yeah, it's all true.
A lot of
So we all know that, it's just happening. You know that Combs, there's just a lot of evidence. That's what you need is like a lot of, it can't be just like one or one dude said. It's just not enough. One person 25 years ago. It's too tenuous, dude. You need like these people have a pattern of behavior, Not always, but usually. So that's a funny thing because I don't know enough about Drake's personal life. And it is a hot song, but it is wild that if he doesn't like underage girls, it is slander. Or is it not because it says, I hear you like them young? Because that does protect it a little bit. Like maybe I've heard, you just protect it with certain words. I mean, and you just deal with it. You deal with the stupid public not being able to think for themselves and spend the time. Because who's got the time? It's just funner to think that Jay-Z rapes 13-year-olds. I mean, because nobody cares about Jay-Z. They just like his music.
Yeah.
They don't care about him as a person.
Yeah.
And that's what you sign up for as a celebrity. Nobody cares about you as a person. They don't view you as a person.
They actually like to see you fall.
They like to see you fall.
Yeah.
It's entertaining for them because they get to feel better.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
They build you up and then watch you
They
fall
feel
down.
better. And on the internet, the social media companies have codified this dysfunction and toxicity by encouraging people to be creators in the comment section. Those who don't, because the whole goal is to get people to stay on there for as long as possible so your brain becomes mush and their ads can be seen and they can make money and they can go and show their stockholders and advertisers at the average amount of time people are on there, how engaged they are. So they've incentivized people to comment and comment negatively because they know we have the negativity bias and the car crash effect. So people go there, they start arguing, or they like negative. People just like negativity, especially when it's anonymous. And so those people who are leaving all these crazy comments about Jay-Z, they don't know that they've been manipulated in order to do that. It's incentive. The whole algorithm is incentivized. They're just trying to be seen. That is their creator. That's them being creative. They can't create anything that anyone wants to watch, so they create something in the comment section of something that people are watching, trying to be seen. But they don't sit around and analyze that for a second that I'm being manipulated. They just feel the dopamine rush that they fucking stuck it to somebody. Well, they're sitting in their fucking mediocre to horrible life. Which is fine. Ain't nothing wrong with it. But that's what it is. I mean, that's what it is. We've all been fucking manipulated to be on there, right? Creators, content creators, audience, everything has been coded to keep you on there, including the comment section, right? The comments that, why is it that every site, like the algorithm is based on comments? Why? What is that about? It's about not only do they want the creators on there, they want the people watching on there. The people who are just passive, they want you on there. And if you're engaged, you're on there. If you're just flipping through, you're not really on there. But if you're taking the time, that's what they like. So they run the world. Let's be honest. Nobody has ever run society in the history of man like this. Maybe religion. Religion, a close second, but not like this. Religion never had the powerful apparatus of artificial intelligence and algorithms to manipulate your brain, to actually get inside your brain, to actually put outside influences into your brain. The access. It would be like if the Catholic Church had a phone, like, just constant. We see what you're doing. That's the sin. And you'd be like, oh my God, yeah, I just jerked off to something unholy. And then it would be constantly in your head. Now you're just looking at people at SNL after parties or whatever, going, I'm a piece of shit. I'm a piece of shit. I want that. But you don't. Because everyone just posts things to look glamorous, but they're all miserable cunts. I mean, this chick's husband blew her head off. Aubrey Plaza. I mean, I'm saying that's the reality. We're all just people. Arnold Schwarzenegger is just a guy. Arnold Schwarzenegger is just a guy. His life, his happiness is not more than yours, necessarily. And if it is, it's because it's something you ain't doing. Because the money ain't making him happy. But social media has really brought back a caste system. It's either fame or shame, baby. Because if you ain't feeling fame, the internet makes you feel shame. There's no just like passive, I'm just passing through here and I feel neutral. They want you to feel shit, just like advertisers want you to feel something. Because if you feel the shame, they like that because then you're going to come back again to try to feel the fame. It's a casino. It's a mental casino that is warping everyone's goddamn brains. But it also does a lot of good. Like they helped catch Gabby Petito, which is very nice. Gabby Petito's murderer. Remember Gabby Petito, that girl from Long Island who was killed at the national park? Well, if it wasn't for social media and the woman that was driving through who saw the van parked at the side, they would have had no search radius to find the body. And they found the body. And that was based on social media. Social media sleuth. A woman happened to be driving down that road with the camera on. She saw the van parked on the side. And then that's where they knew, because, that's why so many people get killed at national parks, is because you can't find them. The animals eat you, and it's just so vast. So the search. So they found her based on that. So it does some good as well. Podcasts, I think, are great. Educational videos on YouTube are great. There's a very many good things about it. It's great for artists to get their stuff out there, direct fans. Overall, I think it's a positive. Overall, the internet is a positive. The negative is these social media barons who have gotten greedy. They're so greedy. They want every second of your attention so they can make money and sell things based on your eyeballs. Anyway, I just went off on a rant with not too many jokes in it, but that's okay. I'm not trying to please a lot of people here. We'll talk about something that is sort of a little more funny, and that's the Zizians. Now, you go, where is Zizania? Is that a country? Is that next to Slovenia? Is that a former Soviet bloc country that we haven't heard of, like Estonia? Zizania, it could be. No. It's a subculture cult in America of vegan trans nihilists. That's fun. That's like a Coen Brothers movie. That's what you'd want in a Coen Brothers movie. But this is what makes comedy movies so hard right now, is you just turn on the news and you find that the alleged leader of the Zizians, they're Zizians.
Zizian.
Yeah, Zizians, have killed 6. So the leader has been detained, but he professes his innocence because he never ate a burger. But they got him. His name is Ziz Lasota, and he's 34. He identifies as a woman and uses she, her pronouns. Oh, can I just tell you a funny story?
Yeah.
So in Chicago, I was getting coffee with one of my openers, Christian. And so we're getting coffee, and this woman, clearly a woman, young, obviously young, was making my coffee. It was one of those types of coffee shops. They make great coffee. I'm all for the trans community and progressiveness for the coffee places, because they just do coffee great. I want the most purple hair in there. I want judgment. I want to be looked at. Like, is he an out, not an out? I want that. I just want the painted fingernails on my guy. I just want that coffee with the heart in it, everything. I got a cappuccino. She put a heart in it. I'm non-binary heart. I'm good with that. And so when I took the coffee, I just turned around and went, "Thank you, sir." And then I turned around and went, "Oh, sorry, ma'am." And she goes, "You had it right the first time." That was the first time that ever happened to me. I've never experienced that. Because she presented as a woman. And she's like, "You had it right the first time."
As sir.
As sir.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I thought, and I said it sort of like, like my old instincts were like, fuck, that's an insult. Remember when that used to be an insult?
Yes.
When you called a girl sir? When a girl didn't want to be masculine? So I said it like an old fucking boomer. I was like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Ma'am. And she's like, no, you had it right the first time. It's the first time I've never ever been in a misgendering crime.
Now, did she hit you with a lot of attitude?
No, it was very pleasant.
Wow,
It
okay.
wasn't that bad because I think she saw me say sorry.
Right.
But she was like, no, you had it right. Like she maybe thought I was trying to do the right thing. Maybe I could tell because of her aura.
Well, you're misgendering her really bad right now.
I went, yeah, right now I am.
Now you are.
Right now. I'm just telling the story.
Right. You have to in order.
Right,
otherwise,
right,
it doesn't make
right.
sense.
Well, it's fucking bananas. Let's be honest. It's fucking bananas. It's just trying to defy. It's like trying to not call grass. I mean, it's just, what the fuck are we doing? If you got the soul of a man, that's fine.
Yeah.
If you're a lesbian, that's fine. But like, fucking, you're a girl. You know what I mean? Who cares about the pronouns? If I was a hot trans woman and someone called me a dude, I mean, why does that who cares? If someone called me a lady all the time, it would annoy me. Yeah, I get it now. I don't know. It's above my pay grade.
Yeah.
I love all people. All people should be treated with respect, but everyone should not be a Nazi about things. If you present like a girl, I mean, she was presented like a female girl.
Right.
You know, not like all the way. She wasn't like female.
Right.
But she looked like a girl who, reads Dostoevsky.
What was the outfit?
The outfit was like, not overly male, not overly female, like jeans kind of, but like now like the baggy kind of jeans that girls are wearing. So it wasn't like clearly, I'll put it this way. It made sense that she had a problem with it, but you wouldn't assume it going in. Like I've said, she had the haircut where you could judge what the conversation would be like, but not guaranteed. She could surprise you, be like, well, I'm glad that Trump is cutting a lot of the Social Security fraud. There's a possibility of that in the hair. There was a 10% chance. If I were to quantify it, there was a 10% chance that would have happened. But still 90% that this is going to be a pretty annoying conversation. And that goes for right-wing people too. I mean, I see a guy in a MAGA hat, that's going to be a pretty annoying conversation where everything's just going to be rationalized, justified. I say, hey, that's a pretty strange thing for a president to tweet. I'm not breaking the law if I'm saving the country. That sounds like something Mussolini would say. Not even. That's the funny part. And that's why you have to be skeptical, because it's not even something Hitler would say. Everything he said was much more manipulative, right? Much more had a veneer of nationalism over it. This is just blatant, like, hey, you can't call me a criminal because I'm saving the country. So, that's just way blatant. But that's what he does. He stirs it up with his fucking tweets, and then he comes back and he says, everything's fine. So, I mean, here's a guy who really knows he has the media always by the balls, and he just knows that bad press is good press because he's just a fucking troll. That's just what he does. He really is a troll president. That's what he does. He trolled Taylor Swift. I mean, nothing is below this guy's pay grade. There's no shame in what he'll do, He is so petty. I would go so far as to call it a borderline mental illness, to be like just fucking thinking about Taylor. You got a lot of other things on your plate right now. There's wars. There's a Cold War happening. And Taylor Swift gets, and from what I understand, I watched the video. She got booed by some people usually. It was maybe a majority, but not everybody. But she definitely got booed. But you're the president of the United States, dog. This is a football player's girlfriend. Is she not allowed to pick another candidate? Like, why are you even involved? You won the election. How petty is that?
He knows what we like.
He just knows what. No, he doesn't know what we like. He knows what's going to rile us up.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people didn't like it. Most of the football players didn't like it.
Yeah, but we like it. We like to hate it. We love to hate it.
We love to hate it. Yeah. It's just, I mean, it's a little sick. But that's who he is. That's what comes with the decisive action and a lot of the things he takes. I mean, let's be honest. I think some of those things, to be honest with you, I really believe this. I really believe now that he's won and he's kind of won convincingly and this is second term. And like, I think people want results now. I think he's a little under the, people who support him want results. So if they don't see results and if they see this type of like distracting behavior that just is immediate, just creates a, I think they're going to start to get a little, I think people are getting a little annoyed. I think that even annoyed people because everyone, like a lot of Republicans hate Taylor Swift because she voted for but not to this level. And also they all got daughters that love Taylor Swift. So they're all going like, she's just a singer, man. Like you're the president. Like what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like what are you teaching men? Like what kind of role model is that for men to just like boo a chick because the camera shows her? She's obviously uber famous. Like you're the president, dude. You know, it's a little disconcerting to think that you were thinking about it, went home, and had to like fucking fire off a joke, you know? Like for a while, people were amused at that shit, but all the people who are amused at that shit are usually like younger people who are just like fucking amused by everything because they're retards. Younger people are just retards. I was a retard. I've been a retard many times in my life. We all go through things. We make mistakes. We all fucking are, you know, I remember when my cousin was dying, I was fucking doing stupid shit. I was upset. You know, we all do stupid shit. You get older, you learn. I mean, how much older do you need to get to learn that that is not a good look? The guy's 77 and he's tweeting at a fucking 35-year-old teeny bopper icon. It's not good. No matter which way you slice it. Jesse's has MAGA underwear on. Am I wrong? Okay? I know you secretly like a lot of things he's doing. Am I wrong about this?
What have you told me off camera? What have you said off camera?
I said some of these things, you know, if there's a lot of fraud, that's good.
Come on, be honest.
The border sounds good. Sending the Marines in for the cartel so we can stop the fentanyl deaths, that sounds good.
Okay.
I mean, kind of sounds good. You can't have, we can't be the only country with no immigration laws. You know, the majority of the people believe that either silently in their $4 million brownstone or openly in their $200,000 shit house in Arkansas. Let's be honest. That's why he won the election. You can be on the fringe and believe everything you want, but this is a democratic fucking world, and that's what people voted for. So that means a lot of moderates believe that, because you can't win the election without moderates. So let's be honest. Yes, that's what I said off camera. But am I, and I just said it on camera, there's a lot of things. You know, you can't, if it's true that there's a 18.9, 150-year-old, or whatever the fuck that is, you got to fix it. The tax code, we all know, is crazy. We can't continue to have the cartels human trafficking people over because they're paying off border guards and sneaking them in other ways and taking money. We can't have them continuing to lace our country with fentanyl. You just can't. Too many people are dying. You have to take them on. So now they've been branded a terrorist group, which they are, and now they have to fuck with the boys. And that's bad, because our special forces those guys are men. Those guys are men, dude. Green Berets. So they're headed there to train the Mexican troops, but you know what that means. It means we're going in. We're already using drones to run surveillance. So I challenge any liberal to say that this is a bad thing. All right, your kids can't do drugs and be liberal. The best part about being liberal is doing drugs. Conservatives don't like drugs. Their drug is Jesus. But if you're a liberal, your drug is fucking acid and shit like that, where you go, hey man, we're all one, we're all one. Yeah, man, I don't know. I don't believe in fucking the patriarch, but I believe we're all one. And the only way you get there is by clean drugs. So he's trying to stop dirty drugs. So I challenge you. Right? I know you may have 3 homosexual siblings. You may be the most liberal person in the world. I challenge you to tell me how this can be bad. I challenge you to tell me how it can be bad that border crossings are down 90%. You know? And you're going to get, all these people are freeing wars. So you want the whole South America to flood America? You can't. I mean, grow up. Grow up, seriously. If you're over 30 and saying that to me, grow the fuck up. You're the one who is caught in this black or white thinking, which in the real world, you just can't as an adult, you're just aware that idealism is for inspiration, not for action. I don't know if that makes sense. Somewhere in the middle of that, there's some truth. Don't take anything I'm saying as true. Look it up yourselves. Just like my other podcast, History Hyenas. The whole goal is to talk about these things, to be right or wrong about them, for you to just look it up yourself. Make a decision for yourself. This is half-baked shit, and I fly out of my asshole. I'm not well-read. I'm not well-researched. I have no experience in any of this. I could be all wrong. I have one expertise, and I can say it's an expertise because I've been doing it for 2 decades, and that is stand-up comedy. That's it. Sometimes these podcasts are very miss because I've only been doing it for less time, but I'm pretty good at it. Pretty good on pods. That's as far as my expertise goes. Being a funny jackass. And sometimes that's only 30, 40, 50%, 10% of the time. So I'm not claiming to know what I'm fucking talking about. I'm trying to entertain you. I'm not trying to change the world. I can't. I'm not trying to be Walt Disney. I can't. And I'm fine. I'm not trying to be the person who puts down the Zizians. Maybe they got a little good points. Who did they kill? Let me see the guy first. That's about what you'd expect. Now that guy would have got he would have got a fucking Netflix special 3 years ago. Before the Nate Bargatze, Shane Gillis takeover. But who didn't see that coming? They went too far. There's just too many names people couldn't pronounce. And it would have been fine if people watched all the specials and they were like, these are great. But they weren't. So then people started to suspect, oh, they're just pushing this because it's not good. And then there was, you knew the backlash was coming. You know, it was just Nate Bargatze on a horse. Carrying an American flag and Shane Gillis on the back drinking a Bud Light going, we're coming back to reclaim territory from the heartland. You remember when Roseanne Barr did a show that got 34 million? She got pre-cable numbers, but y'all had to take her off because she tweeted some Obama advisor looked like a Planet of the Apes. Well, she's crazy, but those numbers are real. So we're coming to claim those numbers. And they came back. For every action, culturally, there's an equal but opposite reaction. So here we are. In DC and in comedy. I bet you're about to see a whole bunch of Yellowstone comedies. Hey, what's going on? My name's Bert. And yeah, you're going to just see, the Heartland White is big right now. Yellowstone, Kreischer, Nate. It's just white guys. The thing is, the problem with the woke movement is you try to take the white guy down. What you should have did is just celebrate him and say, we're just happy to be here with you. Because if history tells you anything, taking the white man down is damn near impossible. The only person who could take the white man down is other white men. When you look at the wars, it's like, unfortunately, it wasn't Thailand that took out Germany. You know what I'm saying? You just need other white allies to take rid of the bad whites. And there are some bad whites. But you didn't team up with the good whites. You teamed up with the sissy whites. Oh, no. We don't have a Wei Zhongjin button.
No, we don't.
Generally what I'm saying, I believe, but not really. Obviously you went too far. You annoyed people. It's just like, people don't like snark. And you just got to learn what you should learn from this when the Democrats try to come back is just because you have a liberal arts degree from Sarah Lawrence doesn't mean you're better than a guy who works at the Cracker Barrel. You're just not. Because that guy at the Cracker Barrel probably knows how to fix his car or knows something that you don't know. And what you know is how to appreciate a Woody Allen movie and secretly like it while you also tell your friends that he's probably a pedophile. That's your expertise, okay? You know who Wittgenstein is. Good for you. That's the difference. Doesn't really have a lot of real world application. So get rid of the snark, okay? Get rid of the fucking hubris. Stop talking down to people in the heartland. It's not their fault that they were manipulated by an auto industry that made the whole world for cars, and they can't walk around and they're fat. You know, that they were also manipulated into that. You can walk in New York. If New York City was not built like this, you know how many more fat people you'd see? My diet's no better than fucking Billy Bob's in Tennessee. It's just I don't just hop in a car back to back. I walk. Have some sympathy. We got to just have sympathy for Darrell Armstrong, who hit somebody in the head with a gun. Now, Darrell Armstrong was an NBA player. He played for the Magic, and now he is an assistant coach for the Dallas Mavericks, and he's been arrested for aggravated assault because he hit someone with a gun. Now, key words. He's an assistant coach for the Mavericks. So, people in Dallas are upset about the Luka Doncic trade, so it was just a matter of time before someone hit someone with a gun. Right? That is the GM's. This is the GM's problem. Now, he needs security. He needs Donald Trump level security, Elon Musk level security. So he hit some guy with a deadly weapon, but the cops got to sit him down and just put him in therapy for losing Luka Doncic. That's why he's really upset. He's 56 now. Oh, he hit a woman with a gun and threatened to shoot her. Well, what did she do? I'm all for equality. What did she do? According to the arrest affidavit, they responded to an apartment complex, downtown Dallas, 2:15 a.m. Nothing good happens at 2:15 a.m. So if you're awake, there's chances you're going to get hit by a gun. Try to go to sleep before 2 a.m. and your chances of getting hit by a gun go down significantly. That's why having kids is great. You're just asleep before all the trouble starts. Police saw a text message from another woman on his phone. Oh, leading to a verbal argument. The victim told police that Armstrong had been drinking and became irate during the argument, demanding the apartment keys, which she gave him. At that point, while on the phone with another person, Armstrong picked up a pistol, walked around the kitchen, and struck the victim on the right side of her face with the gun. He's going to be in big trouble for this. He will be relieved of his duties. I mean, that's a great job to have. You hate to see it. Love brings everyone down. Can't women just fucking not look through the phone? It could save your life. I just victim blamed. Bad. Can we cut that part out? I'm just trying to save her life. Yeah. And don't date these guys who have drinking problems. If you see any anger from a guy when he's drunk, get out of there. I blame Darrell. Make no mistake, I blame Darrell Armstrong for this. That's an extreme reaction from someone reading your text messages. The victim had been in a 9-month relationship with him and told police she saw a text message from another woman. He got it right. At that point, he struck her in the right side of the face with a gun. The document stated Armstrong then loaded the gun with a full magazine and said, "I'm going to shoot you." The victim told police she then left the apartment and walked to a 7-Eleven on the corner and waited for them to arrive. Officers spoke to the witness who said they had seen Armstrong drinking and swearing at the victim. They knocked on the door and Armstrong was brought into custody and said this was Luka Doncic's fault. Officers found the pistol under the couch where Armstrong stated he was sleeping with a loaded magazine but no bullet in the chamber. The victim and Armstrong have been in an intimate cohabiting relationship since 2024. She did not want to get Armstrong into any trouble or cause him to lose his job. This is what they always do. It was like the Gabby Petito thing. She's like, they got pulled over. He hit her. She hit him too. Unfortunately, I also read the statistic that a lot of times women initiate some of this hitting, and then that's bad too. I'm not saying she did here, but if a relationship gets violent, I think you get one chance with that. And then if it gets again violent on either side, you got to get out of it. You get one, hit me, right? Because everyone loses their cool. And for some reason, men and women can't get along. I mean, men and women is worth as Jews and Palestinians. They just constantly, what are we going to do? Just give women the Gaza Strip. Because they just can't get along, They They really can't. But when it goes to hitting, that's when you know you got to get out of there, man or woman. Woman hits you, get out of there, dude. Not only because, you know, she's hitting you, but like it puts you in a bad situation. When you hit a guy, it puts the guy in a bad situation where he's emotional and your instinct is to defend yourself. It's just bad. I'm not saying this happened here. I don't know. Probably not. I'm just saying generally. I just watched the Gabby Petito thing, and that's why. It got me all like, dude, you know, it's like, what are you doing? You're going cross country with this guy, and you guys are constantly like hitting each other. And you're going, you know, the guy hit you, and then you continue on, and then he told the cops, I love him. I don't want him to get him in trouble. It's like, I know you're only 22, but like, hopefully a lot of women learn from that, and I think they do. Like, what's she saying? I don't want him to lose him, drive him, get in trouble. Fuck that guy. He hit you in the head with a gun, and then he said he was going to shoot you, and you don't want him to get in any trouble or fucking lose his job? How confusing is that? Love is really a mental illness. Goddamn emotions. Everyone needs to box breathe. Just box breathe and you'll be fine. Saturday Night Live drew 15 million. I really think Colin Jost and Michael Che do an exceptional job. I think it's the best part of the show. I watched the entire show, brought a lot of nostalgia back. I do have a lot of critiques about it, but it's pointless because it's a difficult job to have all those celebrities try to get them all on. My only critique that I'll say is I think they tried to do too many cameos, get too many people involved. You know, they should have just did that on the red carpet and just let people watch and enjoy the after parties and did a few iconic things. And Eddie should have did one of his characters. Everyone's there for Eddie. Everyone's waiting for Eddie. Eddie did a funny thing where he did Tracy Morgan, which was funny, but he should have had his own Mr. Robinson's Neighbor. Just, you know, it should have just been iconic shit. That's all it should have been. It's just iconic shit, you know?
Yeah.
Like Mike Myers, the church lady.
Yep.
You know, that's what it would have been. But Che and Jost are just really funny. Like their jokes are just great. And dude, just tip your hat to SNL. I know comedians have given SNL a lot of hate and shit. And by the way, that's another lie, right? That's another lie that I accused SNL of stealing from me. I saw that in the internet once.
Really?
Don't Google your name. Yeah. It's on fucking Reddit. It's a post a long time ago. This is when it happened. Yannis accused SNL. I didn't accuse him. The fucking fans did.
Right.
You know, the fans fucking did it. I mean, it was obvious to everyone I know, but that's besides the point. I didn't care. The character's so well established and like everyone knew. I mean, what do you want me to do? I mean, you go to the video on Graham, on YouTube, it was just lit up with comments going, nah, this is Yannis, Marisa. You know, I didn't, you know, the headline, I accused. I didn't accuse them. I didn't make an accusation. I just followed up on what people were saying. And yeah, you want me to lie and say it didn't seem a little, yeah, it did. But I also told the truth. Like, I didn't invent das it. I told the truth. My character made das it a punchline in that way that it was used. You decide. I don't give a fuck. I barely do the character anymore. It's 15 years.
Really?
Yeah. 14 years. You know? I think it's more a thing where you're going like, how come people didn't tell him? Like, people might say. Maybe they did. Maybe they thought that, you know, but it was an overwhelming majority of the comments that were saying it on the video that they posted. But there's this headline, Yannis Pappas accused SNL of stealing. I didn't. I saw it and was just going to let it go. And then there was all these comments. And they made a video. I acknowledge it. I say, yeah. You know? I liked that it was acknowledged and going like, yeah, look, there's a pretty iconic character that was created by a guy who people really enjoyed that this is very close to. But it's fine. It wasn't a straight ripoff. Or you decide. I don't care. I do other things. If it was the only thing I did, you goddamn right I would have fucking... If I was walking around the way, like it became my whole persona. If I was Larry the Cable Guy, and I was just lying to people, telling them I was trans and Puerto Rican. If I just became her and she wasn't just a comedy character. So that's just another example of how the internet just like, all those people that saw that and commented, it's in their brain that I accused SNL. That's not how it went. It's not true, but nobody cares about the truth. And that's why so many of these people have been able to just get in there, because it's just people it's the first thing they hear, and then that's it. And nothing really gets litigated, and nobody's out there really being principled about it. Maybe now it'll happen. I don't know. But anyway, how did I get off on that tangent? I don't remember.
We're talking about the 50th.
Huh? So it was great.
Yeah.
Like it's such a hard thing. They're reading off cue cards there, but it was just so great. I mean, Will Forte, one of the most underrated, so
funny.
hilarious. He was there. They didn't really give him any light. I mean, I would have just done the iconic shit.
You got to go the biggest stars of their era.
Yeah, I would have just did that. They didn't do that. They did not do that.
Right.
So that would be my only critique of it. Otherwise, it was just a great thing. Obviously, everyone celebrated it. It's an American institution. It's amazing that guy has been able to keep a sketch comedy show fucking relevant for 50 years with the paradigm shift that happened via the internet. That's absolutely amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And any shit I've given SNL was probably just me jumping on the bandwagon while people were critiquing it, because it was the whole counter code. Because it was really, you really have to just honor it as a comedy institution.
Well,
overall, Lorne Michaels has great taste.
Yeah.
He picks
Think of all the stars he
all the stars that were made.
But for a while there, they took a political stance.
They did.
They got
that was a mistake they did, but that was a mistake all TV was doing.
That's true.
Because I've explained why they did that, and I was pretty much the only one I saw how that take at the time, and that's why Joe Rogan retweeted it, and that's why he started liking me. But I was saying it's like they lost the eyeballs to the internet. They knew it before everyone else knew it. They knew before all the money had shifted, the people weren't watching it. So what TV tried to do was try to guilt you into watching, going like, if you want to be right morally, you're checking this stuff out. So they went political as a survival mechanism. And they weren't the only ones who did it. It was just a losing cause. But it was it worked a little bit because it was already over. So at least it got some people to be like, I'm here fucking saluting Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Because if it wasn't for that, nobody would be watching. But they've managed to rebound from that somewhat and stay relevant and get decent numbers. I mean, not as much as a Burt Kreischer Instagram story, but they're still relevant, and they're still, pumping lost money into it from fucking, NBC, right?
Yeah, but they also do well on the internet because they can chop that thing up.
They're taking that money from air. And look, this did well, 15 million viewers.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll never get that again unless they do specials like this every time. But everyone's tuning in to see Bill Murray. Bill Murray was there. He was hilarious. It was great. It made me feel good as someone who grew up idolizing watching that show. And that it survived, it's a feat.
Well, it's such a great concept because they can just put whoever is hot at the moment as the host. Yeah. And they'll get people to tune in. Yeah.
It's an institution. It's a great show. And they mostly don't steal. They mostly do it right. There's going to be a few whoopsies. And I'm telling you, dude, Chost and Jay, their jokes are just like, that was the best part of the show for me. I just thought they were great jokes. And Bill Murray, when he came on, was great. Will Ferrell's great and everything.
Did he do the cheerleader character?
No, no, he didn't. He did that the night before at Radio City.
Oh yeah.
But just like seeing Bill Murray was great. Seeing Eddie.
Yeah.
Seeing everybody, it was great. Nate was there. He did a little question answer. There was a lot of celebrities there. It's an institution. It's an American institution. And hats off. I mean, every fucking person who's a big star was there. Paul McCartney sang. It was Paul Simon was there. He did the first episode and sang the first song, so he did that with Sabrina Carpenter. And it didn't sound great, but it just didn't. I mean, his voice. You do it alone. He's got to be harmonizing with another Jew. If it's not going to be Garfunkel, let him sing alone. He's also like 80.
Yeah.
So, and her voice was like overpowering his. They weren't in sync. It wasn't great. Paul McCartney sounded awful. I mean, the guy's 80. It is what it is, but it was nice to see everything. A lot of the sketches were but it was fine. Everyone was tuning in for the spectacle of it. And it's just something to be celebrated. And, at some point, you got to gracefully retire. I'm saying it. At some point, you got to gracefully retire because Lorne was at the end and he looks old now. I mean, how old is the guy?
He's got to be in his 80s too.
He's in his 80s. So I think at some point you gracefully do it because when he goes, it's over. because the genius is really, it was great to see Steve Martin and Martin Short. I mean, it's just at some point, I think you want to do it when you're on top, and I can't, he's 80. So I can't, you're 80, it's 50 years, you were there for 45. Like you got fucking 15 million viewers. This would be the perfect time to make a huge, now it would be celebrated, but he's not going to do it. He's going to run it right into the ground. You know, it's like Michael Jordan did the same. You're the Michael Jordan of comedy, dog, Lauren. Like nobody wants to see you on the Wizards. Like, are you going to top, like 50's a nice round number, you know? It's a nice round number. It's just not going to keep going. Tina Fey, it was great to see them.
They're saying that she could take over for him.
That would be great.
Yeah.
That would be great. And look, what if you stay around, but you just announce, you know? So it's like, this is a fucking perfect announcement for your legacy. 50 years. 50 years, it's perfect. 15 million viewers. Go out on top, pass it off to Tina Fey would be perfect. Be perfect. Anyway. It was great. And congratulations to everyone who's ever been a part of that institution. And the Adam Sandler song was awesome.
I watched that.
Awesome.
Yeah, he teared up a little bit at the end.
Teared up. It was just awesome. It was just awesome. Nothing but positive things to say about it, even though I did say a few negative things. All right, want to give a small shout out, a small business shout out. Thank you for supporting us. We support you for the free .art, music in Hawaii. Gives artists a place to develop their craft, list their shows, and you learn about artists in Hawaii. It's great. For the free .art. NateLinder.com. If you need social media managing, if you want to digitize, if you want to profit from digital advertising, if you want to rank #1 on Google, hit up NateLinder.com. He's worked with me, and he's worked with PCB Tech Art, which is also another great company. We got DisplayPros.net, custom trade show booths, retail fixtures, promotional items. Tell them I sent you for 10% off. DisplayPros.net, Rebels-Raiders.com. The gear will be here on February 26th at 3 p.m. Pacific. It's done. Backpacks, plate carriers, sling, and an active shooter response medical bag will be sold. I want that. I want that. It's good to have. It's good to have this shit. Great stuff. Everyone should have it, right? This is Jews. Listen, Jews. You know a lot of them are buying guns?
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Jews, the uptick in Jews. I mean, when you have Kanye spitting this shit, the uptick of Jews, the gun sales are big. So, hey, Jews, if you're listening, rebels-raiders.com, get yourself an active shooter response. Okay, hopefully you don't need it. But I'm saying I want one because sometimes people think I look like a Jew. It's a horrible read, but he's going to love it. Quality tactical gear that's affordable. Check them out, rebels-raiders.com. Also, you can get the GOAT shirts. They're still up there. Suds Auto Spa, Bridgeville, south of Pittsburgh. This is for you. If you want storage solutions, car capsule units, you want to keep your car dust-free, safe from impacts, mildew, even rodents, check out his Instagram, suds_auto_spa, info@sudsautospa.com. Call them up, 412-564-5033. They will travel. The bigger the job, the farther they will travel. They're really good. Check out their Instagram. That's a good place to start. And we got, of course, our good friends who made this Yannis Pappas hour sign and everything else. Go to PCB Tech Art. Buy their shit. They got the Power Nest, right? That's for your phone. Shouldn't play hide and seek with your car's charger, right? And they got the Power Sphere because it'll make your car smell amazing. Also, other stuff. So go check them out. They made this keychain for me, the Yannis Pappas Hour. That's where I carry my keys. Slap the code Yannis10, all one word, for 10% discount at PCB Tech Art.